Hello, 'tis Wednesday. Getting a bit of a late start on this one actually today. Squeaky chair. I have painted some things this week. Not a lot of things, because I had to spend best part of a day and a half editing Zarbag's Gits last week in order to finish it up in time for the Gloomspite Gits launch, which has gone very well. It's gotten like 5,000 views or something since Saturday. So I'm dead chuffed with that. It's gone well, seems to be going down well. People quite like it. You know, plus all of the normal complaints about the music, which, yeah, I know, the music drives me mad as well. I have to listen to it while editing. I'll do something, but trying to find, 40 minutes worth of music to fit into a video actually takes longer than 40 minutes. It's very time consuming and can require the outlay of some money. In order to get a subscription to a royalty-free music place. It's not, all that easy. But I'm working on it. But painting things. So, I'm still painting the female Imperial Guard kill team. I've got 3 on the go at the moment. Baboof. Basically the remainder of the las rifle section. They're currently on the go, and I finished off the 3 that I was working on during the last video. They're all done, waiting to be based up. Bit of an accident happened with the bases. I knocked over my Tamiya cement. This is significantly lower than it used to be in terms of amount left. Yeah, I accidentally knocked this over and didn't realise until it started to make a smell. And that was when I discovered that it had gotten all over my stack of acrylic bases and begun to completely melt them and eat away at all of them. This is the only survivor. Fortunately, there were no actual models nearby, but it did mean I had to get new acrylic bases. These ones were from ttcombat.com. They're rubbish, don't bother with them. Anyway, in the bin. These ones were from Green Stuff World, which someone recommended in the comments on the last video. And they are nicer. They're completely laser cut all the way around, and then they do the cleanup for you as well. So there's a little bit of burring on these. Nowhere near as bad as the TT Combat ones. They're slightly thicker, so I'm probably going to have to rebase the ones that I've already done, but they're not glued on, they're just pinned on. And they cost about the same, but there wasn't free shipping, so I got them off Green Stuff World's eBay store, because the shipping to the UK is cheaper off their eBay store than off their website for some reason. It was like only £1.25 shipping or something, whereas on their website it's like £3.40 shipping, and I was like, I'm not paying that. So yeah, new acrylic bases. These come in, I think it's 20 for about the same as I got 25, or it might have been 20, I can't remember now. But yeah, they're much nicer, require a lot less cleanup, which is good because I didn't want to have to spend a lot of time cleaning the bases up. So kind of a good thing that I knocked my paint over and destroyed all of those acrylic bases. So I have to base up the guys that I did last week on those. They only just arrived, so thought I'd get that out of the way early. So still working on that kill team. Hopefully we'll get that finished this week, but probably not till next week because I've got to fit in YouTube content and my own stuff in the meantime. So what else have I painted? Well, I painted a random Space Marine. Baboof. Here you go. It's a Crimson Fist. You can tell if you look underneath. Its fist is crimson. Yeah, this tactical arrow is not red, but I didn't have any actual Crimson Fist decals. Maybe one day I'll repaint it red, but I can't be bothered for now. Just a decal. This guy, who needs a bit of a dust. There we go. I got the new White Dwarf, the January White Dwarf, and I was so impressed by it that I decided to paint a Crimson Fist Space Marine. It's the same method for painting this armour as the Tempest Lords in my Fast Riders video, which will be there. It's the exact same method for painting the armour. You know, you spray Cantor blue from above, and then you do some edge highlighting, a large amount of edge highlighting. I will say that I did 2 edge highlights on this. I did the Elatok highlight and the Lothern blue highlight. I only really needed to do the Lothern blue highlight. My lines are so thin that doing multiple edge highlights is kind of redundant. I need to get into the habit of painting that first edge highlight a little bit thicker, which would basically mean not using the side of my brush in order to do that, or using a bigger brush and letting the paint kind of overflow onto the sides a little bit. Yeah, I'm not kind of used to that. My edge highlighting tends to be so fine that whatever edge highlight I do second is just going to completely overwrite the first one, if it's all the way around. Normally I don't go all the way around, but I did on this. So the Lothern blue completely nuked the Elatok, and you get a result like this, which I think looks perfectly good. It was not, you know, this isn't a display quality piece, this is what I paint when I paint tabletop for Space Marines. Took about 3 hours, all in. Not counting the base, but you know, you can batch paint bases, no problem. The base is from Big Mech's workshop. I had to sand down the rim quite a lot. They've got an eBay store, but yeah, I had to sand down the rim quite a lot in order to get it smooth, because it was very bumpy, like a lot of sand had gotten in their mould. But it's quite a nice little base. I got these because I was patron for them for a bit. And they sent me a pack of bases, and this is the bases they sent. I mean, you know, they might have sent me miscasts, I don't know. The ones you buy off the eBay store might be better. I've got some 25mm somewhere as well, in the same style. But yeah, it's a nice base, and this guy will be getting a video, because what I've decided to do is to follow up on White Dwarf's new Index Astartes segment. Whenever they feature a Space Marine chapter in that White Dwarf, which as I understand it is they're going to be doing one every other month, I will be painting up a Space Marine for that chapter, and be putting that up on the Patreons and then later on the YouTubes. So this is extra bonus content. You're getting six Space Marines chapters this year, assuming that they actually stick to doing Space Marine chapters. They might not, but I got a box of Intercessors, and you know, they're destined for this job. So this is my Crimson Fist. I think it came out quite nice. This is just Carrack stone gently airbrushed onto his feet to make him stand meld with the base. Yeah, dead simple colour scheme. It is the White Dwarf colour scheme. These are all, I used all of the paints that they used in White Dwarf. It's just I applied them the way I apply paints rather than the way they tell you to. So yeah, that was the thing I did as a nice little distraction from doing other things. So he'll be getting a video, and the winners of December's poll of the patrons were Magores Fiends. So they're who I'm painting during this month. This is the test figure. I've got the other derp guy over here with the red and the trim done, and I've also got Magore himself over here, who I've recorded the airbrushing for a long time ago now. So you can see I've airbrushed all of the red, and then I've got to go back in and paint all the trim black. Now, to be honest, I don't think it really matters which way round you do this. Like, you can either paint the trim with the airbrush and then do the armor panels paintbrush. Yeah, I don't think it makes any difference in terms of speed. When there's trim, it seems like 50% of the model is trim on these Khorne guys, so I prefer doing the trim second for some reason. I don't know why. Every time I do it, I feel like I should have done it the other way around, but I've never tried it the other way around, so I don't know if it's actually going to be faster. But this is the test model that I've put quite a few hours into now. He's taken a bit longer than expected, but there is a lot of edge highlighting going on with the trim because I decided to go black. Because I don't like the gold and red Khorne motif, but I think black and red looks really, really nice. So that's what I've gone with a kind of blue-black hair going on. And I just have the metallics to finish off and the base to paint and then I will paint this guy at the same time as I'm painting this guy on camera, and that will be part 1, and then part 2 will be this Fleshhound, who I've done this airbrush stage. I'm not entirely sure where to go from here, quite frankly, at this point. Probably some dry brushing to pick out those scales, but yeah, still not fully sure. Probably a wash, then maybe a dry brush. But yeah, not painted a Fleshhound before, not fully sure how to go about it. So that's what I've been doing. After this kill team I don't have any more commissions going, and I'm not accepting any more because I don't need to, and I need to get back to programming. So the emergency that required me to do some commissions in the short term has passed. So I'm now going back onto my day job, as it were. But this means I won't be spending every single day painting or making videos. But that's good, because it means I might be able to earn more money in the long term. Anyway, regardless of that, that's what I've been up to. What am I doing? Painting these guys, painting the kill team. That's pretty much it. That's all of next week, is painting kill team, painting Magores a little bit. Basically I'm going to get this guy finished and I'm going to put them aside until I've done the kill team, because the kill team needs to be done. But once the kill team is done, I'm just going to be working on Magores. So that might be the next 2 weeks. Magores should be done before the end of January, and the video for Magores will be up in Feb. I've still got the footage of the King Tiger tank to edit, and the footage of this guy to edit. My partner will hopefully edit those at some point, since they're extra videos. No one's, no one's paid for them, essentially. So these videos will be going up at some point over the next couple of months, hopefully sooner rather than later, but I make no promises. And that's pretty much it. No work on the Golden Demon entries this month. The way that I'm going to need to work some content in the future, because we've got Golden Demon coming up in May sometime, is I'm going to need to create a bunch of pre-recorded content that I can schedule and post throughout probably March, April and May. That, for necessity purposes, may have to be Space Marine chapters, because unfortunately these are the only models that I can knock out in a day. Like single figures in power armor, maybe a Stormcast Eternal I can knock out in a day as well. But single figures I can do in a single day, and it's not a problem, and then I can edit it. So in order to be able to build up a load of content to be able to go up during the months when I'm not going to have time to make videos specifically for that month, that's going to be the case. So patrons are going to, the next vote, so February's vote will just be Space Marine chapters. The Warhammer Underworld stuff is going off the table for the time being because it's too many models for me to paint. So I'm not going to be painting that Troggoth anytime soon, which is going to be a shame for a lot of people, I'm sure. And the Dark Oath I'm going to get painted, but to be honest, Dark Oath, pick a skin recipe from Blood Reaver's videos, and then just paint the fur. However you would like to paint fur, dry brushing is how I usually do it. So Magores Fiends will be the last Warhammer Underworlds video for a while. I'm probably going to unbox the Troggoths and the Dark Oath on the channel, but I'm not going to paint them anytime soon, and they're not going to be up for a vote on Patreon. So basically, patrons will get to pick Space Marine chapters that I haven't covered. I'll probably put up the main Space Marine chapters so that it doesn't overlap with the upcoming Index Astartes entries in White Dwarf over the next year. So if there's any mainline Space Marine chapter you want to see me paint, then you'll be able to vote for that on Patreon, and I'll probably do the same for some of the Stormcast Eternals, because I've got a bunch of spare push-fit Stormcast Eternals that I'm not going to be able to use in my army due to army composition rules. So I can do Stormcast Eternals and I can do Space Marines as pre-recorded content for the months of March, April and May, so that I have time to paint my Golden Demon entries. So that's the situation. And each month will be a vote to see which one goes up the next month. But I'll basically be picking 3 and you'll be picking the order that they appear, probably. Something like that. Not 100% sure on that. But there you go. That's what I've been up to. What have you been up to? Painting models, I hope. Probably buying lots of Gloomspike Gits, according to everyone at my local stores. They've been selling out. Quite popular, those goblins. Sometimes wonder what people have let themselves in for. You're not going to paint 120 goblins. Nah. If you do, at me with a picture of 120 painted goblins, then I will be impressed. And I will retweet it to my very few followers. Follow me on Twitter. That's it. You've had your lot. That's it. Yeah. Bye-bye. Oh, the end screen thing. You can subscribe there. Check out my Patreon there for colour guides and such like. That's something else YouTube thinks you like. And there's my social medias where you can follow me. That's it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.